What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we're going to take a look and a listen to Representative Khanna. He's going to be talking about the split, the divide that we have in this country right now. And he's mainly going to be talking about President Biden. He's going to be talking about how far is too far. Should you be attacking these politicians? Should you be attacking their family members? So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, I can ask you to do me a favor. Please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. And as always, when you hit that bell notification, make sure it's colored in. If it's colored in, that means you'll get notifications. I did check out the video that I posted yesterday in the comments, and people were saying that they're not getting notifications. So make sure that that bell notification is colored in, okay? If it's not colored in, you're not going to get the notifications that I post every day. So you'll be getting a notification every day. And so if you're not seeing that, make sure you go back in. All you need to do is go back in. It'll say where the subscribe button is. If you just click on that subscribe button again, it'll show you where you are, if you're on all, or if you're on no notifications, or if you're on some notifications. You want to be on all notifications. That way you'll get the notifications anytime that I post a video. Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip first, and then we're gonna talk about this. And this is very important. Now, this is one of those things where it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. When it comes to politicians, who's fair game? Is it just the politician, or should it be their family members as well? So just listen to this, and then after that, we're going to talk about this, because I think this is something that we should really be focusing on as well. Here we go.
2/3 of the world's cobalt production comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Hunter Biden has been heavily involved.
We've seen Dems go from Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinformation to now the sun is off limits.
This administration is content to hide behind the safety blanket provided by the mainstream media.
Our friends on the other side of the aisle are totally out of touch.
We need to show more respect across the aisle for public service, for the office of the president. We need to stop the character assassination, and we need to stop going after people's families who have nothing to do with political office. They cheapen the culture in America. When the President of the United States is out in a stretch limousine and he tells members of Congress that not only were they protest signs, which is the First Amendment, not only are they people hurling insults at him, but that there's a 10-year-old boy with his middle finger up at the President of the United States, something is wrong in this country. When the president is out to pay his respects to the Queen, and people in England are chanting, "Let's go, Brandon," to the President of the United States, something is wrong in this country. Representative Comer says, let's make a deal. I say, let's make a deal on both the Bidens and Trumps. Don't go after family members who have nothing to do with government. I would never say that someone should go after Barron Trump. I would never say that someone should go after Donald Trump's cousins or uncles or aunts that have nothing to do, or his sister, or people who have nothing to do with government. And we should not go after President Biden's family for people who have nothing to do in government. It is time that we stop the character assassination, or we're not going to get people of President Biden's commitment to go into public service, and that ought to be on both sides. So what this committee ought to say is family members who don't serve, who don't have anything to do with politics, are not fair game. And I really am saddened again by an attack on someone who literally has dedicated his whole life to public service.
Will the gentleman yield to a question?
And I will yield, but if I could just finish. Sure. Attack President Biden on the economics. Attack him on your views on inflation. Attack, the Representative Comer and I go on Squawk Box, we debate energy policy. All of that is fine. You can even win an election with those views. Don't attack the man's integrity. Don't attack a person who's literally dedicated his whole life to the service of this nation. He could have, at some point in his 36 years in the Senate, chosen what many of our colleagues do, to go to a law firm in D.C. or to become a lobbyist to make money. He chose not to do that. He chose to dedicate his entire life to service of this country. Disagree with his policies, but don't call into question the man's integrity.
Okay, so that was Ro Khanna. Now, I want to talk about this because we really need to start focusing on our country, okay, and where it's going. And can we move forward if we're so divided? And I don't care, I'm with Ro Khanna when it comes to this, okay? When it comes to this issue, I think if it's President Trump's family, if it's President Biden's family, President Obama's family, President Bush, we should not be attacking family members at all, at all. That should not be happening. If someone chooses to run for office, they're fair game. Okay, they can be criticized, but we should not be looking at family members and criticizing them. And if there's a situation with Hunter Biden and he did something illegal, then let's let the justice system take care of that. We should not be spending time, or I'll even say wasting time. We shouldn't have Congress people wasting time discussing these issues when there are a lot of issues that they can be discussing right now to help the American people. And we have these politicians out there just talking about scandal after scandal. That's not what we put you in office for. You didn't run on that. You ran on helping the American people, and you're not helping the American people because all you're doing is just talking about politicians' family members. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's something that needs to stop because we're so divided. How do we move forward? And just think of it like this, okay? And we have to break it down to this level. Let's say you're working with someone. You have a coworker, and you do a lot of stuff together, and you do projects together and get things done. And you find out that coworker was talking about your wife or husband to other colleagues. How are you going to look at that person that you're working with? Are you going to want to go above and beyond to try to get jobs done with this person if you find out this person is talking behind your back, or maybe even talking in front of you about your family members? And that's what it comes down to, because ultimately we have to look at it. Okay, these politicians, they're human beings, right? And if we're looking at this and we know politicians are talking about other politicians' family members and criticizing and saying they need to go to jail and this and this and that, that's not productive. On either side, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican doing it, it's not acceptable. And I don't know. I mean, I've been watching politics for a very, very long time. If you guys know my background, I majored in political science. I worked on political campaigns, and then I got a real job and worked that job for 21 years, and now here I am. But when we're looking at the situation that we're in right now, it's not getting any better. Our economy is not doing well, and we have politicians that are spending their time during these committee hearings talking about family members of politicians when they could be talking about Social Security, the raise for Social Security. They could be talking about a child tax credit. They could be talking about a lot of different things, but they're choosing to talk about issues that they didn't get elected on. And that is the honest to God truth. And we need to get to the point. I mean, it just frustrates me. That's the reason why I wanted to do this video, because when I see this stuff and I know that there are things on the table that they need to really be addressing. The continued resolution. Are we going to be looking at a government shutdown next week? What are they going to do about that? They're sitting in these hearings and discussing things that have no bearing on the American people. That's not helping the American people, talking about politicians' family members. There's so much that can be done and that you need to get done. This is not the time to be talking about. There's no time to be talking about politicians' family members. And this is definitely not the time right now with everything that's going on. So I want to know what you guys think about this. So let me know in the comment section below. I mean, I was watching this, and what I'm starting to do is I'm going to start putting out more videos, because now I have my setup. Hopefully you guys like this setup. I still have my old setup upstairs, but I like this. It's a little cozier, and I can just kind of sit here and run the camera and talk about different issues. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of both, down here, upstairs, all around. Upstairs right now, I'm in Southern California, so it's pretty hot. So even with the air conditioning on and everything, it still gets pretty hot upstairs. So I'm probably going to be shooting more videos here for a little bit, and then we'll kind of switch it off and on. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Should we be paying these politicians to be attacking other politicians' family members? Okay, on either side. Okay, like I said, I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican doing it. It's not acceptable, and that's not what we're paying you $175,000 to do. We're paying you $175,000 to have solutions to our problems, and my problem is not Hunter Biden. My problem is when I go to the gas station, I have to pay $6 per gallon. That's my problem. My problem is that I'm looking at inflation. When I go to the grocery store, I'm paying more, 25%, 30% more than what I was paying last year. That's my problem. Hunter Biden is not my problem. And so I want you guys to let me know what you guys think down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.